dear all. I also got a few questions from you to answer, and I decided to do this through a short video. And I received 2 questions that are in a way connected, because they both deal with the social view on all of this that we are confronted with right now in the world with the COVID-19, the coronavirus. And one question is, and I'm just going to have a sneak peek, one question is more, will all this that happens, shall we learn to do how to protect ourselves better, or would this bring us maybe some form of acceptance to what is happening, and maybe even surrender to it, or whatever? And I will go into that question. And the other one is, how could we connect to the learning that this can bring us from different layers of perception? And I want to share an image that I prepared for you. And so you will see it in your screen right now. These are the 3 mechanisms that are always at work in systems. These are the mechanisms that Bert Hellinger learned us all about, and that I here presenting to you in a simple way. And so first of all, the conscious level, which is about belonging or not belonging. I think what is happening now is touching this level strongly. So for instance, it's also about judgment and doing right or doing wrong. So for instance, I guess this is in every country, we seem to enter into judgment fast to our leaders maybe, or maybe to people in the street who do or do not behave accordingly. I know in Spain it is different. You have much more restrictions than we have in the Netherlands. And so, for instance, in the Netherlands, people do not always obey the rules, and so we have judgments on that. So it's like either you're in, you're out. But also, if you look at it to the disease itself, I think nobody wants to admit, but if we would be really honest, we hope this illness does not reach our families. And so we might experience fear, sadness. Some people are very fearful, others are not. So also there you could see, like, where are we drawn, more or less. And then the second, I say second, but it doesn't need to be second, but the unconscious mechanism, which Hellinger calls the system conscious, which says everything belongs. So also the fear belongs, also the sadness belongs, also all those people that we lose belong. And there is really no judgment there. What I tend to notice now is that the patterns that we already knew, they become stronger somehow. So for instance, if I am a person that likes to be in control, I will now try to be more in control than ever. So for me, it might be difficult to surrender to what is going on. But then this third mechanism, and again I say third just because this is the order in which I explain it, not because it's third in the order. I guess right now this is very much the first force, which is the evolutionary force, which is life, which we cannot control. It's just, and I've spoken on this so many times in trainings, and I guess this is really the moment when I do not need to explain this anymore. We all feel this. We all feel the evolutionary force. We feel it's unstoppable. We have no idea where it is taking us. And this creates also fear, right? So both the evolutionary force, both influences this belonging, this conscious part of our judgment and all that we think and feel and want to do. And it influences also our patterns and everything. And what I noticed in these layers of perception, and I guess this is the same in many countries, that many people are really taking this as a sign of nature, that people need to change and that this will transform the world, and that we have time now to reflect on everything and to surrender to this, etc., etc. And for many people, this is really, they are able to do this. But I also see that many people are not able to do this. They are stronger connected to this conscious part, where you do not want things to be true. If you lose a family member, if you lose all that you could count on before, whatever, the world will change. Your world has changed anyway. So, and to be honest, I'm not sure if the strength of this coronavirus will be really strong enough to break with the patterns that we have created in this world. So I'm not sure if once this is over, well, first, will it ever be over? We don't know. This is what we hope for, but maybe this will never be over. Maybe by the time we think it's over, a new mutation of the virus will show up again. Who knows? But I'm not sure, let's say, if this would be over in a year or so, if this would be enough to break the patterns. Or will we just turn back to like fly all over the world as we did, consume all the products that we did, whatever. I'm not sure, and only time will tell. And this, I think, touches also the other question, like what will happen? Will we start doing more to protect ourselves, to prevent this from happening, which would be more connected to this conscious force, like where you want to determine and where you can create the world? Or will we surrender to accepting that just not everything is controllable? Just not everything we can make it as we desire it to be. That maybe finally we could acknowledge that life is stronger than us. And again, if we would, let's say, if all of us would be able to acknowledge that life is stronger than us, still we would fight Corona. Still we would fight in hospitals to keep the people alive, because still from this conscious part, from this belonging, we do not want to lose family members. So I think it's an illusion to that we will end up in this either or. It is always there, both. Both the fact that we do not want to lose and we don't want to be hurt and we want to stay alive, etc., etc. This will always be there. And I think it's a matter of how, maybe from each of us as a person, how we are able to kind of surrender and endure personal losses. Yeah, like that. But I do not believe that that humankind, as long as we live, that the full species would come to a point of really surrendering to life itself. That would be my answer, just on the top. So I feel I could talk a lot more about this, and I miss the interaction now, because normally if we would see each other, you would ask more questions or maybe clarifications or share your experiences. But so this is just a one-way answer. If you would have any reactions, feel free to send me a video back, or otherwise stay in touch. And